You want to ask a question before I start?
Because very wise men say Sahaja Yoga, he takes birth and goes out as a sheep or a dog, he takes birth.
What is that? What is? Are you Hare Krishna?
Because he was doing
I'll talk about Krishna when we come to Krishna.
I don't wish to bring the money.
Okay? You don't want?
He doesn't wish to be famous, sweetheart, he just opened it down.
He was doing the talking, I like this.
What is it?
He wants to ask me a question now, because I was doing the talking. I think he said I was.
You should not be aggressive like that, alright? You can do it later on. What is it so aggressive? Have you come here to quarrel? No, but why have you come here with all your things? You have come here to quarrel? No, that's you sit down. Sit down. Be quiet. Alright? Have some patience. You see, when you go to other gurus, you don't ask any questions. Nothing. You go head down. You shave off your legs. To what reason? Just for accounts before them. Not the question, nothing. Whatever they say, you obey them, pay them money. Just obey them blindly. And when you come to mother, please don't try to get this. That's wrong. Please, it's not it's all. It's true. I know. Why do you want to quarrel here? You have come to quarrel.
No, I don't want to quarrel, but I don't want you to upset this boy here with all your bullshit. Listen, if you want to have a yarn, have a yarn.
What is he?
He's proclaiming Sahaja.
Huh?
SahajaYoga. Sahaja means if I'm a woman in the spiritual world, I act like a woman in this world. And that is false because I cannot do it. So Sahaja, he teaches the people how to act like normal people and don't do much.
I never do lots of quarrels. What are you doing? Knock it down. Have you got his algorithm? He's a wrecking ball. He has his own ideas. Go. No, don't fight. You see, the beginning only you have started spoiling everybody's mood. You take another hall on higher and give a lecture. That's a better idea. And give them realization, I'll be very happy if you can do that. Alright? Alright. Better do it. This is what is called as
Look, Bob, nothing. Dropping our trees go down pockets rising.
he was done. He thought it was a part, I think. It's alright, don't worry. Forget it. Let him sit down. Why should you do it? I tell you. I've had all kinds of experiences. Really interesting. SahajaYoga has an open door for everyone. All of you can come here. Some of you actually do not deserve even to come, but you are allowed to come in. You do not want your self-realization. You are driven here, I don't know for what, but it's alright. It's a mother's house. You all could be here. But as a mother, I have to tell you one very simple thing, that you must do all justice to yourself. In all fairness to yourself, you better get your realization. If you do not get your realization, you will have lots of problems. Lots of them later on, which may come up as anything, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, but last of all, will be sorted out into something else. So I have to request you that be patient with yourself. As I love you, you have what you love most. I see that beauty, that sparkling, beautiful spirit, which is clouded by your misjudgment of life. Any mistakes, problems, but I see that sparkling spark of spirit. That's why I'm extremely patient. You will know your beauty also, if you are little patient with yourself and try to understand how to be that spot. That is what you are. You are lost. You have to find. That is very important for life. That is the evolutionary process of human beings. And those who do not accept their spirit, I do not want to say or frighten you, but only thing is, this is the last judgment. You won't have another chance. So please try to get your realization established. If you think coming to my lecture, you will have more knowledge about chakras and things like that, that is not going to help you, neither help me. I am not here to show off any knowledge or to sort of dominate you people in any way, or to start any cult or religion or anything like that. I am here to give you what you have, just that is hidden from you, that you have not yet felt. That's what is your own right, that is Sahaja, born with you, spontaneous, the living force of Kundalini, which is the Holy Ghost, actually reflected within you, has to do it. And that's what is important, absolutely vital, absolutely vital. But we are not yet so equipped to understand our estimation. We have no self-estimation of any kind. We are not able to understand what we are. It's better to get your self-realization and to understand your own values. You see, something so vital that no words can really prove it. Now today we are like to be with a very interesting, is it alright? Can you hear me? Very interesting chakra called as heart chakra. It's called as Anahatha chakra. Though it is not placed on the heart, it is placed very much behind the sternum bone in the spinal cord. In the childhood, this center manifests the power in the sternum bone and creates the antibodies. Now this center is governed by the goddess who is called as Jagadamba, meaning the mother of the universe, who gives us security within us. She resides in this center and manifests in the age of 12 years her warriors called as antibodies. Doctors call it as antibodies. After 12 years, these antibodies go into circulation and empty the sternum bone. But whenever there is a problem of insecurity, the sternum bone starts going up and down, and you start feeling heavy breathing within. This is a very, very important, extremely important center within us. If you have less antibodies, then we can develop lots of problems of insecurity. Even if we have imaginary hallucinations, or sometimes actual possessions, this center can go on in a very funny way, and we may develop diseases like asthma and things like that. But actually, with this central point, the center, there are 3 chakras, you can see that. So the central one gives you a sense of insecurity, especially to women who cause cancer of the breast. Breast cancer is caused by insecurity among women. Mostly women who are insecure do not say that they are insecure. Supposing the husband is a wayward person and he is having relations with other women, or she is suspicious about a relationship like that, then she may develop this trouble within her. And she will not tell the doctor would not know, and breast cancer can be caused with that insecurity. First of all, the woman is the mother of your child. And if her security as a mother is challenged, then she develops this horrible disease called as breast cancer, which is very common these days among women. Men do not understand that women are very sensitive things. They are, of course, extremely evolved. They can bear much more than men can. Seldom a woman gets a heart attack. They are quite sturdy if there is an outside attack on them. But they can't bear their husbands to give them insecurities of this kind. Now you can understand a woman who is insecure like that. She may not say, she may not complain, she may not also show it, but in her there is an insecurity developing, which results in the creation of breast cancer. There are many breast diseases are developed by this, and also some of the lung diseases are also developed with this insecurity. In addition to that, those people who suffer from cold too much, and those who get exposed to pneumonia, or you can say even people who go to closed places like cinemas and places where there is not sufficient air for them to breathe, they develop this trouble in this area very much, and more on the left side of this chakra, which is called as the left Anahatha. Now the left Anahatha is the mother, it's your mother. If there is a problem with your mother, supposing your mother has died very early in life, you have had no motherhood in your child. If there has been a problem with your mother, then this left side chakra catches and it goes hand in hand with heart. So in this finger, if you get a catch, then you must know it's the left side chakra which is captured. It can be heart or can be this left side chakra. So you can ask the patient, I know what it is, but for you to discriminate. If you ask the patient, are you suffering from any insecurity from your mother? What about your mother? And if you find that there is some problem with the mother, there are such destructive people always coming. It's all. See, there are the results what should worry. Now, if there is any destruction of any such feelings of motherhood within you, then this chakra gets caught. And you can develop diseases like tuberculosis, or could be any such diseases that has to do with your left hand. And also it affects, in a way, the heart also. On the right hand side is a very, very important chakra called as the chakra of the Shri. Now Shri Rama was an incarnation of this Vishnu, the one you saw on the Anahatha Chakra, who came as the 8th incarnation on this earth, and, no, sorry, not 8th, it was the 7th incarnation, and there are 10 incarnations, out of which he was the 7th, and he came on this earth, and he didn't in any way profess or say that he was the incarnation of Vishnu. That's why he moved from the central path to the right. He kept himself there. Now this Sri Rama's center is very important because Sri Rama was a perfect human being. Maryada Purushottam. He delimited, or we can say he created the boundaries in which a human being should live. As a king, as a husband, as a father, and that's why this is the center of the father. If you have faith as a father, if your son has no feelings for you, or maybe that your father has not been good to you, or if you have done some harm to your child, then this center catches. Now, there was a boy who came to me quite young, and always this center used to catch. I asked him, how is it this center is catching? It's right part. Because you have a good father, and everything is all right. Then he confessed to me that, Mother, I must confess to you that I was having a relationship with a woman, and she conceived, and we both decided to have an abortion. And that's why his center was catching. Now the very age-old askamas could be like this. Very age-old askamas which people have could be because their father might have died very early in age. Now such fathers who die very early feel that their children are insecure. So they hover around the children. If you can tell your father that I'm alright, don't worry about me, you take your birth, you'll be amazed your askamas can be cured. We had a governor of Kashmir who was a friend of my husband, a very senior man. I went to see him. In India, people have a different style of behavior towards saints. They never behave in this arrogant manner as you see here. Never. Even the President of India would stand for a saint. And he, though he was a governor and had to bear his case. After all, my husband was an officer much junior to him in age. But he came walking to our guest house and he said, today I have come to see a saint and not Mrs. Shri. And he sat up. He said, I have come to take your blessings because I have had asthma for 25 years. I said, all right. Then I asked him about his father. When did his father die? He said, about 25 years back. At the time I was very young, not yet employed. My father was very much worried about me and he died. I said, all right. Did you tell your father that you take your birth again? He's a very learned man, very well educated, extremely well versed, and very clever. And he said, all right, because he was suffering too much. Since that day, he never got an attack of asthma. It's a fact. It's very simple to cure anorexia, another disease that you have. So I'm not telling on the physical side, but then I'll tell you about the spiritual. Anorexia is also caused by emotional disturbance. For example, a girl's father dies and she cannot attend his funeral. And she feels for the father and father feels also for her. And this mutual feeling brings the father as a spirit around her. And then she cannot eat. She feels extremely restless. She carries on with that feeling. She just cannot eat. Whatever she may try, she cannot eat. In London, one doctor experimented on this and he said, all right, we'll do the last rites of your father. Just imagine it. He said, let's try. And she started eating. In the same way, if you can tell your father that I'm alright, When you tell this to some girls, they start crying because they think it is too much to say to your father, who was so close to you, suddenly died. They feel very emotional about it. But once they cry out and they say it, these things get correct. Asthma of any time can be cured by these methods. But there can be a combination of asthma, which are called, now I have never told you about the granthis. When the two centers meet, there are auras of every chakra. And when they meet, a granthi is formed. Granthi means a knot. A knot is formed. And when the knot is formed, when you take the name of a deity, you have to take the name in such a manner that you put those two deities together. Today I had a boy who had very bad cough for the last 2 months. And they did not know what is the reason for it. When we judged it, we found he had Agya, his Chakra, and he has heart. When we put them together and gave it a bandhana, he got better. When we tried on both the chakras, he was better. Because if you treat one, the disease goes to another. And again, when you turn your attention to another, it comes back. So it is better to attack both of them together. There's a method and technique by which you can do it after realization. All these things are to be done, and these granthis can be completely opened out, and you can really cure the person of these so-called physical problems, which are really emotional. In a society where people do not understand how human beings are sensitive, how they are delicate, how they are to be treated, and that they are the most delicate thing, people become extremely aggressive. And their aggression can be very subtle, can be very beautiful, may appear to be extremely beautiful, but can be very injurious and can be very, very, I would say, extremely destroying. So many aggressive characters of women and men have destroyed their children, they have destroyed themselves. One has to understand that all such aggressions end up into problems in the society. Insecurities lead you to problems and problems. Like the wife has the insecurity of the husband. Now, if husband has the insecurity of a woman, then what happens? They go into these funny relationships with men. When they find the women are so untrusting, so dominating, then they try to have these funny relations just to escape. If they meet women who are kind to them and do not try to dominate too much, they sometimes dominate in the name of security also, very much. So, the man can develop in his own way as a man, and the woman can develop in his own way, in her own way as a woman. But when they try to collide, then insecurities develop. And that's how we have so many complications which are psychological in nature. This was discussed by Freud to begin with, but as I said, he was very half-witted. He could not see through that there is not only the psyche that we have also another side which is called as ego within us. So he said you better decondition yourself. There's no end to it. Once you start deconditioning yourself, many gurus are doing that way. They say you must decondition yourself. By deconditioning yourself, you do not know that you really develop your ego, which is even a more difficult thing to conquer or to win over. This ego within us doesn't trouble us. It doesn't. It may give you success, it may give you not so much. It troubles others. Like Hitler never thought how he was torturing other people. If you get a super ego, then you get the pain, you don't like it, so you want to give it up. But if you have the ego, you just enjoy this and like it. Now what is that? Likes it. This I is the one which is the ego. Now, When the realization takes place, when the Kundalini rises, it rises to the center, and the power of the Kundalini spreads on the sides. In the center is the power of the Mother of the Universe. And once you know that the Mother of the Universe is your Mother also, it's not the knowledge rationally, but it happens with you. So you feel that security in you. All your emotional things stabilize. And you become really stabilized into yourself. And you start feeling yourself as a stable person. You feel your own glory and your own importance as a human being, as a SahajaYogi, as a realized. Then you change your role completely. You are no more afraid, the fear goes. The fear of the unknown goes up. You become absolutely in the center, neither you aggress nor you take aggression. It's a very beautiful relationship that exists. For example, somebody tries to address you, you just see the drama. If somebody tries to be extremely humble with you, you see the drama. The whole thing comes to you as a drama. You are never disturbed with all these things. And you must know that these ups and downs are always there to create a variety in life. This center is the most important center from one point. That all our emotional problems come from it. And the way we treat each other, the way we handle each other, we are not at all aware that human beings are being delicate, that the delicatest flower like this. It's extremely delicate. Whatever you try to do to the human being goes as a very deep wound. These wounds, as a result of bearing up, become big, horrible weapons with us. And when you come across somebody whom you can dominate or trouble, you start hurting that person. You use hurting languages, hurting attitude. You cannot enjoy another person. But when the realization takes place, you become so beautiful that you enjoy the security of another person. After realization, the person who is realized never possesses it. Because the person who is realized has felt the freedom and has the value of the freedom, and it never tries to dominate it. This is a very, very great disadvantage sometimes to Sahaja, that people who are possessed are very nasty, they can be horrid, they are very troublesome, and sometimes they really make a mess of it. But because those who are realized souls cannot dominate them, they just watch and see what they are doing. If they could do it, immediately such a person would feel there are hundreds of slaps coming on those days. But these great souls who are here today, also so many of them, are watching you and are sitting down here, are also seeing what's happening, but they watch and see what others are doing, what harm they are doing, and how they are behaving, and they just note it down. Of course, this is also true that those who try to bring hurdles and impediments in the work of God ultimately are taken away from the grace of God. God is very forgiving, no doubt. He forgives you at that point. But after some time, He also punishes you. He punishes you so badly that you are amazed how He has forced you. This center, to keep it clean and nice, one thing you must know, that there is nothing to fear. God Almighty, who has created, is so powerful that there is nothing to fear. 23rd Psalm, if you read, that's what it says. I would say that's the mantra for this set. There is nothing to fear in this world. But actually, what happens? That if we are egoistical, we are frightened because we know we have been egoistical and somebody is going to hurt us. It is mostly that kind of a fear comes in, that we have done some harm, so we are frightened that this is going to happen. Moreover, when you indulge into things like drinks or strong drinks, as you call it, alcohols and drugs and things, they take you to a super ego. The super ego takes you to collective subconscious. And you get attacked by the collective subconscious. And when you are attacked, then you get a very different personality, which is always frightened, who doesn't want to say anything, which keeps quiet, which runs away if anybody shouts. And such people are very depressed. They become absolutely depressed, extremely depressed. And sometimes they lose their jobs. They cannot work. They cannot cope with it. These people have to then go to the right side. Give a balance. To put it more is to raise the right side of the sleeve. To give them a balance, we have to raise the right side, not the left side. And once you raise the right side, you must know you are raising Shri. I do not know if you have read the life of Shri, who was a very great king. And he sacrificed his own wife just to keep the public opinion all right. That was the greatest democracy one can think of. But you have seen people that for their own children they sacrifice the whole country. There are people who sacrifice the whole country for their wives, while he is the man who sacrificed his wife for the whole country. And the whole story is so beautiful that the wife had to go and deliver children in an ashram of a very good saint known as Lalita. Now these two children were born, and when Rama came to call her, she left him and disappeared into motherhood. After that, it is said, these two children who were loved and pushed, they went, that's the two ends of a glass, because they were twins. They decided not to stay in India. That time the Himalayas was not so, the height was not so. And they decided to disappear in the north. So Lord went towards the Caucasus side and pushed went the left side. The left side was China. That's why the Russians are called as Slav. Lav comes from Islam. And Chinese are called as Kushan. Better go and tell them. They are descendants of two twin brothers who were the children of Sitaji, and why should they fight among themselves, Chinese and Russians? Because they are Slavs and this one is Kushan. Rama's kingdom was the kingdom of great harmony and great equity. A king has to be a benevolent. He has not to use his power to destroy or to make people insecure. If you make even one person insecure, it is sin. And a king can make thousands of people insecure by his terrorism or his accidental things. Rama's style of administration was so ideal. Whatever problem he had, he used to call his ministers and would talk to them, ask them what are the problems. And then he would tell them, alright, if you think these are the problems, then he would say that it is better to go to some saint and ask for their advice. And all the ministers had to go to some saint and ask their advice on any problem. Saints have the same opinion, all of them, on any subject because they answer in vibratory awareness. In vibratory awareness, there's only absolute truth. And that's how he saw to it that through these saints, he could manage them to lead a life of complete harmony and understanding. His own life is spent like an asset. He would walk without shoes, and he sacrificed everything that is meant for the married man. And in the end, he wanted to have a huge tree that's called Ashwamedha Yajna. I don't know, there's no word for English. It's a style in which you put a horse and you follow the horse, and wherever the horse goes, you find the foot which are trying to capture the horse. And those horses, whichever country they went and were not captured, were regarded as the part of the kingdom of Shri. So this horse went to many countries, and there at that time they had to do a very great worship of the fire. Now he had no wife alongside with him. And he said, I will not have this. If I have to have my wife, I cannot have. So the people said that if you can make a statue of your wife, we can have this whole thing done and the puja can be performed. So he made a golden image of Sitaji and had the worshipping done. It is hard to get a husband of Rama's kind. He is an ideal husband. Such a loving husband, even in separation, he never thought of any other woman, just of his wife. He enjoyed the separation of his wife and lived a life of a sage. His wife too, so dedicated to him, was so upset thinking that he is going to have this yajna, that he may get married again. She was jealous. But then she discovered that he made a beautiful image of her. Sometimes we run down women if they are jealous. But jealousy is not such a bad thing. Jealousy is the controlling factor by which men or women can control the licentiousness of each other. Jealousy is God's gift, but it should not go too far. It should be open jealousy and it should be enjoyed. It is in lots of poems of Krishna and Rama, you will hear the jealousy of their wives and how once Radha was so jealous of the flute that Krishna used to use that she asked him, what do you mean by holding this flute all the time to your lips? What is so special about her? So Krishna said, all right, if you are so jealous, go and ask the Murli, ask the flute. So she went to the flute and she said, what is so special about this? How is it you are all the time at the lips of my beloved? She said, see now, it's something very simple, and she's fine. She said, what is your speciality? You have to tell me. She said, my speciality is that I have no speciality. I have become a hollow person. He flows through me and melody is created, and people say that it's the flute that is played. It's Krishna who is playing. I just see the flow of that. That flow of that energy, that beautiful music, I see that and I smile at people who say that you are it. I have become a novice. I have become a hollow person. This is what one of the beautiful stories of jealousy is. So, I would not say that jealousy of the worst type when women go and kill their husband is true. But a sweet jealousy is a very nice thing, and a sweet teasing is also very nice thing. Actually, in relationship, we have to develop very sweet connections with each other. Like, today I was talking to somebody whose brother-in-law is very hot-tempered or something like that. I said, very good idea. Oh, you are the one who can bring him down in his temple because you are his brother-in-law. I said, how? I said, you should teach him sometimes and take his side and do all these things and you will see how you will manage it. That's a very good relationship. But this training you do not have in the Western life. Well, we have it quite a lot because we live in a joint family. So we know what is our relationship and how to do and how to enjoy each other and how to make fun of these small things. So we are always laughing and enjoying ourselves, our relationships. Instead of just finding faults, she came very late, she banged the door so loudly, she should have gone to sleep earlier, why did she do that? All this we do not bother. This is how we all can live together, if you see to the sweetness. But if you go too much to all these meticulous things and to all these nonsensical problems that you have, it is going to be a headache. Morning to evening, see to these small things spoils your relationship. Now the mother of the universe is the one that is named with 1,000 names. She has 1,000 names. And she has got two centers on through which she acts. On the right side is called as the Shri Chakra, on the left side is called as the Lalita Chakra. And the book that has 1,000 names is called as the Lalita. All these 1,000 names, you can imagine how many powers she has. She has 1,000 hands. And with these 1,000 hands, she looks after you. So what is there to be afraid of? When there is your mother, who is so powerful, and she has 1,000 powers, what is there to be afraid of? And when she loves you so much. On one side, she has the lion, on the side, a tiger. Who can you walk so quietly, so nicely, without getting disturbed at all, and you will see that it is she who is going to look after you, through and through. Only thing you must feel her presence in your chakra and establish her there. This is what is the central chakra, is very important within us. Should I do it? It should be. Warren wants me to do the one chakra more. First of all, before doing, you should be anchored to you the imbalances of this chakra first. And then you will understand what is to be done. The imbalances that come in these chakras, first of all, is when you are extremely emotional. Very emotional people there are. At the slightest they cry. They are very easy to have no doubt. But whatever you may say, first thing you do is to use your waterfall and upset everyone. You see, the children are upset, the husband is upset with your waterfall. And once it starts, it can stop. Emotional people, when they go too much with their emotional behavior, they do not get epileptic so much as they get hysteria. And this hysteria spreads from one to another. Because people see that those who are hysteric are effective with their hysteria. Once they become hysteric, other people start thinking, oh God, just look at her. She's hysteric, so everybody going to her is kind to her. And that is how she also picks up from another hysteric woman and starts being hysteric. But actually it is the possession that comes to you and you become hysteric. Now this hysteria is to be treated in a very simple way. First of all, she is to be told that we don't believe in any hysteria. There isn't anything. You are not bothered. You have your hysteria when it is out of the it is to be neglected. If you neglect such a person, it will be much better. Or if she shouts or screams anything, you lock her up in the house, you go away and come back. You'll find after some time she will not have hysteria. But if it is really due to some possession, then you have to give her a regular treatment of SahajaYoga by which you can remove the possession. So that there are two types of hysterics. One is the real, when a person is really caught up and is possessed and is feeling oppressed. And the other kind is the one which is just a show. Because people are there who are in sincere time and they try to show off. You see, like anybody, you find now the gentleman here was just nothing but a show. There was no need for him to be upset. Nobody said anything to him in particular. Nothing was wrong. He's not here to fight with me. Nothing. But it's just a show. And this kind of a quality comes in when you are a show off. The best is to show to such a person that you do not care for the show back. Once you do that, you'll be amazed that it works out wonders. And people who are suffering from all these struggles get cured. But there are people who are really suffering. And how to find out? It's a very simple method. That a person who is suffering from this kind of a show of day, if you put anything obnoxious near the nose of such a person, he just forgets. It can't bear it, you see. It forgets all its tantrums. See, all these tantrums are just forgotten. So in India, it's a very funny thing they do. To rub your shoe and put it to the nose of a person. And can put anything else. Also, sometimes they put a little onion, which is broken with the hand, and to the nose of a person. And then the person just becomes quite normal. But if it is real magic, you see, then of course you have to get it treated by SahajaYoga. I have known one lady who was went to some guru who really raped her. And she didn't know she was raped, but sort of in an unconscious state. And she was thinking that she was raped and all that. And she became pregnant. And then he did her abortion and all that. Horrible family. He's still going very strong, making lots of money. And this woman, since then, became his hysteric sort. And she used to get into terrible history. So much so that the husband had to take her to Scotland and put her in a lonely house where he was looking after her. She used to scream like mad. And she used to go into a tantrum where her neck would go on one side and her hands would go like that. It was terrible. Worse than even epilepsy would go on for 3-4 hours. Thank God she came to SahajaYoga and she got it. What are you doing?
I'm drawing you. You have an extraordinary plan.
Why don't you become extraordinary yourself? I am here to make you extraordinary.
I'm listening too. I had this facility to do both. It's probably been split on my part, but I haven't missed a word.
Oh.
Excuse me if I do.
It's alright. But I said you better be extraordinary, so I also can draw. Then I can do it. Alright? Alright, finish it soon. And you better have it.
Not that far away. I'm sorry.
Alright. Now, this one is one of the hysterias I told you on the left hand side. And the right hand side, when a person is say in the mouth, it becomes the king. And he starts troubling. He's not a father. He's a father. He has to behave like a father. And a father has to sacrifice. He has to go on sacrifice for his children. He has to give love to his children. Now, a father will never have a sanctuary car and a beautiful house and the children starving. Any king or any ruler who does that is not a father. If he is the father, then he is the benevolent king. And such a king, we should all pray that we should have within ourselves. It's important that we should have such a king who sacrifices everything for the sake of his subjects. And what a character! A king who has a licentious life, who kills 7 wives and does all sorts of nonsensical things. How can you rule? Because unless and until you have a character of your own, you have your own principles, unless and until you are an ideal king, how can you rule people? And what can you give them except for licentiousness and permissiveness? I was surprised that now in England, all of them are trying to follow this king who killed 7 wives. See? Either the wives are killing the husbands and the husbands are killing the wives. And once I asked, why do you do like this? Our kings did it and now we are democratic. So we can also do it. They have all become kings now. If you have to become a king, you have to be a king like Rama, who loved his wife, cared for his wife. Above all, he cared for his people, his subjects. Nothing was more important than the people whom he governed. That is what it is. But when this happens, we find the right side is caught up in most of the bureaucrats. Right side. They always get caught up because they think, oh, we are great. See, their nose is up like that. They go in a big car. They have no time to look at anyone. They are supposed to be public servants. But they behave as if they are the owners of public properties and public. Especially in developing countries like India, they indulge into horrible things like bribery, corruption, and all those things, and are least bothered about every corruption leads to such a bit of damage. Because they do not believe that God Almighty, the great, is our Father. And when our Father is there, so great, He is going to look after us. Why should we do all these injurious things to our society? One tragedy can kill thousands of people if a person takes a bribe while building a bridge. The bridge is weak, and when the car is passing over it, 1, 10, 100, 1,000 people can be killed. For taking a little money, how much we do harm to others. Now, one side is the sin against the Father, that not to believe that He looks after our yoga and Kshema both. He is the one who looks after all our material well-being. For that we should not be dishonest at any cost. That is with all the developing countries itself. The countries who are developed, who have money, who do not have insecurities from money, what they are doing? They are having the another side is the sin against the mother. They are removing the security of the family by making the wife suffer out of insecurity, or making the husband suffer out of insecurity, making the children suffer out of insecurity. The whole place is filling with insecurity. The women also have seen, as they divorce, they start doing very dirty things. Filthy. They become prostitutes. Actually, they are prostitutes. What is the difference between a good woman and a prostitute is this much today, that one does it with willingness, another says that she doesn't do it with willingness. Whatever you may call it, it's a very wrong thing. And for a woman, it's killing. It's absolutely killing. Because woman's chastity keeps the whole garden going. Her chastity is the most important. If a woman doesn't have a chastity, then I don't know what's going to happen to that country, to that earth. It's horrible. All kinds of evils will take place. The Mother Earth is absolutely rolling with agony. She can't bear her daughters being slaughtered like this for the sake of emotional blackmail or some sort of a thing. Women must understand they owe responsibility to the whole society. If men are responsible for economics and politics, women are responsible for social. They have to bear it. They have to stand on their own feet and know that they are women and their chastity is the most precious thing. Now, in a country like India, where we can say there is poverty, but women's chastity is of a very high level, extremely high level. I mean, you can't think of what level it is, even today. In the olden days, we had a Muslim queen. Her name was Lalita. She was first an ordinary woman, and she went to the king's palace and met Jahangir, who was the prince. She was a very beautiful and innocent girl, and he fell in love with her. And he wanted to marry her. But the king didn't like. He said, no, she must be from a royal family, He married her to one Shera of Bengal and sent her away. This lady became a devoted wife to her husband and lived with him very happily. But when Akbar died, this Salim, her I should say lover, became the king called as Jahangir. And by mistake, her husband was killed by the armies of Jahangir. And this upset her very much. Then she was brought to Delhi. And she went and told Jahangir that you cannot have me. You have killed my husband, I'll never see your face. You cannot touch me. He was the emperor of India. This woman said, you dare not touch me, I have nothing to do. See the character of him. And then he became very sick. He was also a very good husband, a lover I should say. Became very sick, he could live without her. And the mother was a lady we call as Jodhabai. She was a Hindu lady whom Akbar had married. So, Jodhabai, the mother, was very sorry for the son. And when the doctor said that this girl has to be brought to him, otherwise this fellow is going to die of thyroid. So he said, you must arrange someone. So this queen, the mother queen, went as an ordinary maidservant to this girl and worked with her as a maidservant. So this girl was sick and she said, what do you want? She said, will you give me if I ask for anything? He said, yes, if I can give you, I will give you. So he asked, this old lady asked her, will you marry my son? She was willing to marry the son of a maidservant, but was not willing to marry this emperor, whom she had loved for some time, with the idea that she had to kill the husband. And when she discovered that the son was nobody else but Jahangir, and she was married to him, and she became a very great queen, Nurjahan. Nurjahan is the light of the world. Like that, we have had many stories in India. Because the character of the woman shines. And she's such a powerful thing that even Krishna and Rama and the greatest people were afraid of such women who were dedicated for it. If you have to have real powers, then you should be really dedicated and very pure, chaste women. You'd be amazed. Every word you say will come true. And you'll be such a powerful woman that nobody can even touch you. It's a tremendous power, of which I'll give you another example, how the women of India behave towards their chastity. We had a lady called Padmini, very beautiful queen. And once a king, an emperor or something, he heard, he was not yet an emperor, but it was time to invade India. He heard about her beauty. And he said that, oh, I must see this lady. Otherwise, if she does not agree, I will attack. So all the people said, no, we will not allow our queen to be demonstrated like that. So she said, all right, I don't want my country to be attacked, so it's all right. He can see me in a mirror, doesn't matter. So she stood in a mirror and he saw her, and then he again became very mad after her. He said, no, I must have her as well. And he came with all his army and surrounded their fort and sent word that you must send the queen. But this was too much for Indian men to send their queen to be killed. Imagine the 7 queens killed in England. Imagine what a story it is. Now they would not accept that. So they said, all right, we are sending the queen. And they got this palanquins and 4 people with the palanquin, and inside was another soldier sitting in with all the swords and all the guns and all that. Like that, they sent 100 palanquins saying that these are the maids of the queen that are going. And the king was in the first palanquin. And they said, we are going to fight these people. In case we die, then we will know, because there will be no fire lit up. If there is a fire lit up, then you all women should know that we have died. And then these people went to fight. And each one of them was killed. there was no fire. These women made a fire and climbed over it, and all of them burned themselves. They would not allow their chastities to be touched by it. You may say it is foolish to warn them, but today we remember that they are so gracious women who have died for their chastity. It's such a great martyrdom for us to see how these women have killed themselves. There are many stories like this. Even the wife of Ravana, who was killed by Rama, was like that, which I will tell you later on sometimes. The story is very interesting. But that is what it is. But we have lost all that. Somehow we have lost it. I don't know how we have lost it, but we have lost it. It's a very sad thing. Very sad that we have lost such a precious thing that we have. With realization, you get it back. You get back your sense of decency, your sense of justice. Like you find on the street, people are kissing each other, hugging each other. I mean, these are the things to be done. In the bedroom, not there. You see, it's so ugly. You do it like this, embarrassing everyone. They'll be going on an escalator. That's the only time they can kiss, otherwise there's no other time. They must stick on to each other all the time. And if you ask them where are they going, they are going for a divorce case. I mean, it's very indecent to be so much showing off your relationship with your husband. There's no need. You see, there's no need all the time to touch him and what's the need? It looks so indecent. I don't understand that there is any need. If there is love, there is more love, then you never do that. Actually, you'll be amazed that Indian women, when they see of their husband, they may not even raise their eyes, and you make out the wife. Because she doesn't even raise her eyes, but she knows in her heart that her lover, her husband is holy. There is no need to say that. It's so beautiful it is. It is so much loving that husband just looks at the girl and he knows that my bride is there. And he just bends his head and she also. It's so beautiful. Why this wonderful expression? And this kind of a thing is ridiculous sometimes the way we go on. We are making ourselves very cheap. In our own estimation, we should stand into great glories of our shame and our understanding that we are human beings. Even animals, some of them, are ashamed of these things. And how can we go about with this kind of thing? Very wrong ideas have come to us. Like women must show their body. Why? What is the need for women to show their body? It's a very compulsion now for women. They must show their body. It's absurd. I mean, to us it's surprising that the men doesn't matter because they have nothing to hide. So why should they, every time you meet a man, he'll button up his coat and a woman will open her body? What is this? I can't understand that a woman in her modesty and in her chastity should know the value of her private life and her privacy. She must respect the way she's behaving today. She's becoming shameless, absolutely shameless. And when there was a big movement that you shouldn't even wear under shirts for women or something like that, and they developed all these struggles of the breast dance. They developed with that. Men should also wear them under shirts, not all the women, but men should wear it just for the absorption of the, what you can say, the perspiration and all. But women, for their chastity, because you expose your chakra. And that's the chakra of shyness, is a chakra of modesty, is a chakra of your chastity. And you expose it, that's not the way it should be. Only your child should be able to see that. Nobody else is that. That's what it is. You will try this. You will see half of your security will go away. If you dress up properly, in a proper way, in modest way, nobody will attack. The way you walk, the way you behave on the streets. I mean, there has to be a rapist. What else? You create rapists. I tell you, the women create rapists. It's not that the man is. But the way the women are dressed, the way ugly they are, man is excited. What can he do? They have to behave themselves. They have to be in such a way that they do not distract them. So, all the time trying to attract them is a very good thing. Like one American woman once said that Indian women are. I said, all right, to one husband only. We are not bothered about other husbands. We are not all the time worried about figures, this, that, to attract all the men of the world. Only one husband is to be managed is very distract our minds, and the distract is about maybe a husband or someone. Maybe a man to be get flat. It's very lovely to play with the emotions of another man who is attracted to whatever is ours to be enjoyed. Enjoy somebody else's thing. Why should we do that? By doing that, we create such a lot of insecurity, such a lot of insecurity. And this is what we have to understand. Do not lay your hands on the other family. Keep them off. It's worse than stealing all their family and everything together. Allow people to live and make marriages a successful thing. I have seen people flirting with the bride. Shame. I've seen that and I've been so much shocked. What must be the curses of God on such people who have no sympathy, no desire, no understanding as to what the husband would be feeling of a bride. All of us must know this hurts us the most. Deception hurts anyone the most. Nothing can be more hurting than deception. If you take away something, doesn't matter. But you deceive someone, and in love everything is fair according to the modern science. You hurt anyone, you do anything, you'll be amazed. I had a disciple who was 26 years of age. And he had a friend who was 24 years. Mother was about 45, 46 maybe. The friend went with this boy to his house. And the lady went away with this 24-year-old. What a problem it is. Nonsense. And then the son came to me and told me, Mother, this is what has happened, what should I do? I said, call your mother, I plan to speak. She was so shameless. She started telling me how nice that boy is, he's so interesting, this, that. I said, have you forgotten? You have 2 daughters also. She said, no, I have not forgotten them. I'm willing to meet them, but they don't want to meet them. I said, nobody should meet you. Then she brought out all the case, everything, the house was sold, 4 daughters they have no place to go to, they are in a rush. The father has become mad, sort of a person, and she didn't mind destroying all of them, and such a stigma. And the boy feels so heated, so angry. And this foolish woman thinks that she's such a bride. How many people we destroy? We destroy this marriage, we destroy that marriage. What are we doing? We are destroying ourselves. You can rationalize it. You can say it is all right. But it is murder. It is murder. Murder of not one person, but of many. With this, I think today I'll finish, tomorrow I'll meet with Krishna. Because the mood is different today. For Krishna, you have to have a very playful mood, which we use. Tomorrow, we have a nice time with Shri Krishna and rest. It will be a nice time. When I speak to you day after tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll be able to do much better. I'm sorry I have to say these things to you. Because in India, people are doing like stealing, driving, this, that nonsense. But say true. You have got money now. Now at least enjoy yourself. Do not destroy it. You see, any husband you have got, just try him out in this lifetime. Any woman you have got, try her out in this lifetime. Please. At least that type of a person won't be there next life. Probably. So sort it out. Why are you married? If you have married, it's alright. Work it out. Be kind to each other. Be generous. Be sweet. Look after each other. Do not destroy their lives. You know, people suffer from such horrible hallucinations and things if you treat them. In America, I met a child of 8 years. 8 years child. And his mother told me, mother, she has taken to drugs. I said, what? 8-year-old child has taken to drugs? She said, yes, he takes drugs. I took that child. I just took that child and hugged him and loved him and kissed him. I said, how could you do that to us? He said, all the time, my father, mother, they are quarreling. This is another father has come. He doesn't like me. He has his own children. This, that. I don't like that house. I hate all of them like that. Then I kissed him and kissed him and kissed him, and then he silenced me. And very happy. Then he started feeling my softness. It's very happy. And then he started crying. Said, do you know, mother, my mother has never hugged me like this. Has never kissed me. She had no time. Because all the time she was fighting with the father. And my father was fighting with her. She had no time to kiss me. I asked her, and she told me, oh God, I will develop a guilt if I touch an 8-year-old boy like that. This is Mr. Fraud. I mean, even a person who is 65 years old in India, he doesn't mind getting into mother's bed and behaving like a little child, just taking her medicines. In India, it's nothing regarded. Never it comes into world. It never is put into a life. You see, my daughters are elder one is 35 now. She sleeps when my husband is there, both of them will sleep and say, Daddy, now we are not allowed to go. This. Nobody listens. Even my son-in-law will be there and everybody. I mean, it's so clear, it's so pure. It's our brains have been doing it, our hearts have been doing it. Clear their hearts. Clean your hearts. Don't listen to these horrible psychologists. See, they are pathological cases. You are normal people. Don't listen to them. Do not develop guilt for nothing at all. Why are you so much obedient to them? I don't understand. Even Christ, when he died, he was a grown-up man, and mother took him in his lap and kissed him. Isn't it? I think this Freud never saw. This is what it is. We have made ugliness out of all that is beautiful. We have created horror out of our security. We have created destruction out of all the constructive, beautiful things. This is what we have done. So, from today, build up your heart set. Build up your mother. And know that we have to be beautiful, decent. May God bless you. Tomorrow, I'm not speaking here, but day after tomorrow, I'll be speaking about this. Thank you very much. Should we have meditation now?
Mother would like to just allow you to go into meditation now. She'll lead you.
For meditation, one has to know that it is the Kundalini which clears you. She is the one who clears you. Now the mantras or the awakening of the deities helps you to expand the area of the chakras, which you can learn later on how to do. But just now, let us see. We can say that there is no need to fear. There is no need to fear at all when the Mother, who is the Mother of the universe, is looking after us. Just to say that, and this center will open out. And the Kundalini will rush. Please put your both the hands close, just like that. Stretch them a little. Just stretch them. Close your eyes. Close. We have closed the air conditioner. If you are getting the breeze, you should know it's coming now from me and also from your head. You can feel it coming out of your head. Put your right hand towards me and feel it on your head. And now you can meditate. Now put both your hands towards me and just feel the cool breeze. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes.
Establish your chakra.
Establish your chakra of the heart by paying attention there and saying that, Mother, I am not afraid. I fear not. I will fear. Or pain. I feel secure within myself. That is better. The left side is weaker. Put your left hand towards me and right hand on the heart center. On the right, on the heart center, in the center. In the center.